Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, in one verse, uh, revealed something very important. That Allah says, وَلَا الشَّمْسُ يَنْبَغِي لَهَا أَن تُدْرِكَ الْقَمَرَ وَلَا اللَّيْلُ سَابِقُ النَّهَارِ وَكُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that it is not allowed that the sun should overtake the moon, okay, or catch up to the moon, or run at the same time as the moon, okay, and night does not overtake day, but everything moves and floats and rotates in its own special orbit. And in this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing, okay, the order that He has given to the universe. And everything that Allah has made has order to it, okay, including the human being. The difference with the human being and with human societies, and of course with jinn, is that Allah has also vested us, created us with a free will, all right, with the ability to have an intention to do good or bad, and then to enact it. And so it's really only in the realm of human beings and of jinn that the possibility of disorder arises. And this is usually referred to as fasad. Okay, fasad, that there is, sometimes it's described as corruption, but it can also just mean like chaos or disorder or impropriety. When things aren't done the way they should be, okay? Now, in the order that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made, there are fundamental laws. And so when it comes to, the universe, then, you have physicists and other scientists, and what they try to look at is fundamental laws, okay? Like gravity and so forth. Because if those fundamental laws were different, then there would be a different order, okay? And there could be chaos, okay? You could have, the sun just popping up for 30 minutes in the middle of every night, and, wouldn't be very good, But now the general principle then, but also applies to human beings, and that's why Allah has given deen. Why Allah has given a book and a messenger to teach guidance and propriety and order. All right, and it's been described, like a manual of life. All right, but it's also a manual of community. And if we look at some things, okay, we're kind of screwing that up. All right, and it's a manual of society. Okay, so like for example, in my own field, okay, of study, okay, economics, and economics is very tightly coupled with public policy. And then when you combine the other related fields, okay, of history and political philosophy and social philosophy, all right, and so it is an examination of the fundamentals of how a society operates, okay. And in that, of course, there can be laws and rules that people follow, okay, that are healthy for the overall society, and there can be things that are not healthy, all right? And so that's kind of what we see in, say, the last 400 years, okay, since capitalism arose, is that you could say that, in, maybe half of it, okay, as far as Material development, it has brought, tremendous development and huge advances in technology. But because there are, and this is in, kind of what we study in philosophy and history and economics and so forth, is that right at the beginning of capitalism, there were some fundamental flaws, okay? And so now what we see today is, the result of that, all right? When you have so much corruption in politics, and you've got, the most powerful country on earth having to choose between, people like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, okay, then things have gone wrong. And when you have, half the people in the country are considered to be, in a poverty situation, the education system failing, the wars that have started have been going on now 16 years, and the Pentagon admits that they don't even have a plan to ever end these wars, okay? So much has gone awry. And, for those of us who have studied history, politics, economics, etc., then, we see the fundamental causes, all right? But we need to also understand that about the Muslim community, okay, is that, we have a lot of fires burning, all right? And one example that I like to give is to ask people to take a look at, okay, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Okay, when you look at it from the ground up, it is architectural beauty. I mean, it is just an amazing thing, and considering that it's hundreds of years old. But then when you look at it at the ground level, you see that there's something wrong here, okay? And it's in the foundation, all right? And so in the Muslim community, then, we also have a lot of fires burning, a lot of problems. You have so many people and so many organizations, have cropped up trying to solve this, solve that, address this, address that, help this, help that. And I mean, it's 1,000 different things. But there's very few people, I think, that can understand that there are, okay, fundamental causes, all right? We haven't defined ourselves as Muslims very well. We don't have a very solid worldview, okay, combining, a good knowledge of Islam, good understanding of Islam, and an understanding of the world we're living in that lends itself, to being functional Muslims, to having an organized community. We're failing in many ways, all right? Our masajid, the way they've been defined, okay, is problematic. And I can see right now that I'm going to have to cut this off and pick it up because my camera can only record about 10 minutes, I think. But, we do have to have, within the Muslim community and even in our masajid, we have to have the right policies, okay? And so there are a lot of things that actually need to be corrected. And, unfortunately, like right now, we don't even have the people to do it. I mean, I've had so many conversations even with imams, and, unfortunately, and this isn't, to beat them on the head or blame them. They are, our brothers, and they're just like a kind of byproduct of our community. And so if they have shortcomings and failures, that's not their problem, that's our problem. But they are limited in their Islamic education, and then typically they don't have education in things like history, economics, public policy, organizational theory, social theory, psychology. Um, and so they all are also very limited in their ability to analyze. All right. And then when you get to board members, I mean, they're just nowhere really on the map. I mean, in terms of what their qualifications are, they're extremely limited. And so we have decided on an organizational structure in our masajid, and it is not really conducive to a cohesive and productive community. And so they need to be fundamentally redefined, reimagined, and redefined. Okay. I'm going to cut this off and then pick up with another, just continue this discussion, inshallah. Okay? Assalamu alaikum.